Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Ask Hugo number 6.
The sexiest show you can ever watch? I don't know.
So, you asked me more questions in the comments of the last episode, and I'm here to answer them, because that's the premise of the show. So, without further ado, first question.
Ramona20 asks, so what do you think is a good age to introduce children to religion? Not teach them religion, just like introduce them to the concepts of religion.
I think whenever they learn it. I mean, I think that's something you would learn naturally. I mean, whether you're religious or an atheist and you have kids, I think they're going to learn about that regardless because it's something that happens in the world around them. I don't think you should push it on them. Ideally, I don't think you should teach anyone that any one of them is perfectly true, because I don't think any of them are true, but I also don't think you should just tell your kids, no religion is true, fuck you. Right. Like, I think you should say, well, here's what I believe, here's what other people believe. You know, you need to figure this sort of thing out for yourself. And I think that'll just happen naturally over time. I don't think there's an age where you should give your kid the religion talk like, Johnny, did you know that some people believe in God and others don't? Let me tell you about it. Like, no, it'll just happen. Kids ask questions, and when they ask those questions, I think you should answer them as honestly as you can.
Lars Householder asks, what are your thoughts on Glossolalia? And for those of you who don't know, that's basically speaking in tongues.
I think it happens when people are in this environment of lots of spirituality where people are all getting up and people are raising their arms and stuff. I think it's something people do without knowing they're doing it. I think they're definitely doing it. Obviously, I don't think there's anything supernatural, but I think probably for the most part when people say they think they were speaking in tongues, they genuinely think they were speaking in tongues.
I'd say the people that were leading it aren't.
Maybe.
I don't. Some of those people, like the guy that the very famous one, that's going like halabalalala, hulu shulubululu, and he's asking for money at the same time.
Yeah, those people know, but I think the people who do it in the congregation probably it's a placebo, not even placebo effect, mass hysteria. Let's say that's probably a more apt description. They're doing what they see happening because they expect it to happen. So no, that would be the placebo effect. Yeah,
kind of. It's kind of both.
Yeah.
Next question, Sean Christianson asks, have you ever seen, or do you like, Dexter?
I've seen Dexter up to season, it's either 5 or 6. It's the one where he has the kidnapped woman and helps her get revenge on her rapists. I thought the show was really, really good in season 1. Didn't really like season 2 or 3. 4 was excellent.
That's the one with John Lithgow, right?
Yeah, John Lithgow made that season. And then the last season I watched was the one with Lumen, and I didn't think it was that great. I heard the ending was terrible.
I'm in the very end of season, I think it's 8 or 7, whatever the last season is. Yeah. And it's pretty good, but I haven't finished it, so it might be that good.
It had really great moments, and I liked the idea, but man, when it struck out hard, and it's why I don't really feel like finishing it.
Stephen Alves questions, would you consider somebody who didn't necessarily believe in a god, but believed in the teachings of Christ to still be called a Christian?
No, I don't think there's many people like that, but I mean...
Some of them, you hear some hipsters saying like, I'm spiritual.
Yeah. No, if you don't think Jesus was a deity or the Son of God, I don't consider you a Christian.
No. That's
if you don't believe in the salvation thing, that's really part of what makes a Christian a Christian. Yeah. Like, for instance, I can respect certain things, let's say the Buddha said, or Jesus said. Some of the things Jesus said make sense, but that doesn't make me a Christian. That
isn't that just how people work? Like, don't you, like, take things that people say and how they influence you, and you're like, okay, I could get on board with that. Isn't that just being a person?
Yeah, I think so. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you don't have to be like, fuck Jesus to be an atheist. You can just...
We're certainly not.
No.
Except that pig incident, that was kind of a good waste of bacon.
But no, certainly there are some things in the Bible that are reasonable, but no, I do not think anyone who agrees with Jesus' teachings are Christian.
The next question, our fellow Mule Nut, I think I got that right, asks, what do you plan on doing after the Bible and after the Quran?
Well, that's a long way down the road because the Bible's taken long enough as it is, much less the Quran, which will take about as long as the New Testament will take. But if we do get to that point, and I think we will, we'll do general videos like Chick Tracks and movies as we've done. We'll probably do some more general videos about other people's videos maybe, although I don't like doing that too much. But I think one of the things we'll do is the Book of Mormon, the Apocrypha, and maybe some apologetic books. Have you ever seen Steve Shive's YouTube channel? He reads apologetic books and comments on them. I think that's something I could see us doing. I mean, Steve will always be a good resource for that, but we can make fun of something like no other. So that'll probably be what we do after those.
Keys Show asks, and this is a continuation of something we talked about in the last Ask Hugo, so you can go back to that if you want to see that question. But basically, Hugo said, I don't think that we'll be able to see life from other planets that can travel here, like intelligent life. It just doesn't seem feasible. And this person continues the question saying, basically, like, how can you think that? With the billions of stars of our galaxy and hundreds of billions of other galaxies, it's very likely that there's plenty of intelligent life out there. Millions of years evolved ahead of us and behind us. For you to insinuate that we're pretty much the highest intelligent life forms in the universe is actually corroborating a theistic argument of us being special and significant.
I'm gonna have to completely disagree with you on that, and I'll explain why I think the way I do. The way you're speaking makes it sound like evolution is a strict progression from less evolved to more evolved, and that at one end is fucking cavemen and one end is people in space. That's not how evolution works, and I know you know that. I'm not trying to be pedantic, I'm just trying to explain my point. Just because there are things that are out there that have been evolving longer than us, or even shorter than us, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean we're all going to go along the same track. If you look at the other evolved life on this planet, none of it's very close to building a rocket ship. Like, I think it's unlikely that you're going to see... You might see sentient life in the universe. I'm almost certain you will. I don't know if you will see sapient life in the sense that we know right now. Now let me explain that. It's completely possible that sapient life might exist at some point in the universe. But let's look at this. I'll actually, for once in Ask Hugo, I'll put some visuals on to try and explain what I'm saying. This is a line. This line represents the beginning of the universe, starting at the Big Bang, till, let's say, the end of the universe as we know it, either via the Big Rip or the Big Crunch, which I don't think is going to happen at this point.
Big cool down.
Whatever. The end of the universe as we know it. Okay, so this dot right here on the line, and this dot has to be enlarged just so you can see it. Trust me, it's much smaller than it would look on this line, is where humans are. This is the entire evolutionary chain of Homo sapiens, let's say. Mm-hmm. Let's say, I think they say humans in their current form have existed for maybe 100 to 200,000 years.
Yeah, anatomical.
Yeah. Now let's say, conservatively, we'll exist for another couple 100,000 years before we go extinct for some reason. And I don't mean to be a pessimist, but I think that sounds about right. Couple 100,000 years, something will happen.
It's generally the cycle of the thing. Probably of our own doing at this point.
Yeah. So this is the amount of time that human beings exist. We evolved, we existed, we became sentient, we became sapient, we started inventing things, we went into space, we might even have started space travel in deep space by the end of our run. Mm-hmm. Now, we died out at some point for some reason. Now, let's say on this side of the line, here's another species. They did the same thing. See how the points don't touch, though? Because their existence, since the universe has lasted so long and will last for so long in the future, I don't think the chances of those two events, two civilizations existing similar, are going to coincide. I don't think another species similar to us with those capabilities exists in the galaxy right now. And intergalactic travel, I mean, fuck, even travel within a galaxy is infeasible with our technology, and with our technology in the foreseeable future. Mm-hmm. We would probably have to take thousands and thousands of years to try and get to the point where we can travel across the galaxy easily. Do I think there will be sapient life at some point somewhere else in the galaxy, even before humans? Yeah, probably. I don't think we'll ever have the opportunity to see them or be aware of them, though, just because of the vast differences in the time it happened and the distance that it is. Because to do that sort of thing, you basically have to invent a warp drive, which I don't know how feasible that actually is. Maybe someday we will, and I'll sound like a fucking idiot. And I hope so. I hope I sound like a fucking idiot, and I'm wrong. But based on my knowledge, I'm going to have to say I don't think it's very likely.
Sexy three-boobed alien ladies. Final question for Ask Hugo, number 6. Theodore Silva asks, all the way from... I don't know where you're from. Will your work on Unpopular Culture slow your work on TBR? And will they each be running on a separate schedule? Thanks.
This is a good question.
This is a very good
I know we've
question.
been kind of pimping that other show out, but I think we do need to address this a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to hamper Bible Reloaded. Bible Reloaded is always going to come out weekly like it always had. That comes first. Unpopular culture, we hope it gets popular and we get to do that more, but Bible Reloaded as of right now is certainly the priority.
Plus TBR is our baby.
Yeah.
Just out there for everyone, every single Wednesday for the foreseeable future, we will have a regular episode of the Bible Reloaded, whether that's, the regular Bible episodes, the chick tracks, a movie review, whatever. Yeah. You know how it works. And we'll still probably upload short stuff like Ask Hugo's on Fridays.
Yeah.
Just because it's a really good supplemental thing and we like to, keep you guys coming.
As
for the unpopular culture schedule.
Unpopular culture is going to come out pretty much whenever the fuck we have time to do it.
Yeah.
There's no set schedule as of right now. If it blew up and we had like 1 million subscribers, certainly we'd have to be getting regular stuff out. But as of right now, we're trying to get stuff out when we can. We're doing the Doctor Who reviews when we can because those are pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Other content is taking longer, especially since school restarted, so schedules are kind of more hectic.
Yeah.
But other than that, Bible Reloaded isn't going anywhere. Don't worry about it. So, that's it for this episode of Ask Hugo number 6. 6 of them! So, thanks everyone for watching. I'm Hugo. You can follow me at Hugo Reloaded.
I'm Jake. I don't care what you do. This is his show.
Okay, fuck you then. And this has been Ask Hugo number 6.
Don't even think about it. I know you're thinking about it, but you really shouldn't. You shouldn't ask me a question.